What's the ETA, Tanya? You all good?
We're ready to go.
All right, all right, all right. So, Starseed Film and Music. I go by Price. I call him Mr. Hip Hop in the Metaverse world. And I was asking you, what? How did you catch the art bug? Like, when did you catch the art bug? How young were you?
Hmm.
Take us back to then and how it all happened for you.
That's a good question. And I always kind of say, like, I want to say since birth, honestly, as far as back I can remember, being a kid and wanting to create stuff all the time, whether that be with Play-Doh, with, crayons, paint, anything. I loved art class, man. Like in elementary school, for instance, you go to a couple different elective kind of classes. You got music day, you got art day, PE day, you know what I mean? I ain't care about
Right,
none of
right.
that, but art day. You know what I'm saying? And going through grade school, it just like I kept building and building on art, and like I noticed I had like a natural knack for it, and also my teacher and my family would like, give me praises on how well I could draw and stuff like that in such a young age. So I just stuck with it. It was just one of those things. And then when I got to high school and everything, and saw an opportunity to even carry my love for art that I had gathered through grade school into college, I just knew it was a no brainer, and everything. And kind of meeting other art friends and stuff like that, and bouncing ideas and going to art shows, to art museums, taking trips out of town to go to art museums and stuff like that. It's just been like a part of my life as far as I can remember, honestly.
Wow, word up. So, I forgot to uh, let everybody know that you're an awesome artist as when it comes to drawing and sketching.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely dabbled in that like seriously for a few years after college. I focused on portraits and pointillism is what it is. It's called stippling. It's when you take a pen or whatever you're going to be using to draw with, and you literally tap dots on the paper to build up the value of the shades and tones that you're trying to achieve to create the full image. So if you go follow my Instagram, I go by Price, and if you scroll far enough down through all of the metaverse stuff, all of the Horizon World stuff, you'll see that I have a lot of portraits, and a lot of those portraits of that I did are of like singers and rappers and stuff like that, because music is also a big part of my life. It definitely influences, I would say, the vast majority, of my life. And not just hip hop either. I'm really big on R&B, but growing up my brother kind of got me into hip hop. My mom is what got me into R&B, being in her little 96 Honda Civic, Honda Accord actually, listening to like Mary J. Blige and all the older rappers and singers and stuff like that.
No doubt, man. Music is definitely influential. It's an influential part of my life, and I've seen it influence, you know, a lot of people and what they do in their art. So, I definitely dig that. How long you been on how long you been in this metaverse? When did you get your headset?
I love telling this story because I honestly, I tell people like I think the metaverse and all this kind of stuff with the Oculus and everything, it found me. I didn't find it. I was
Ah,
working for a company. Yeah, yeah, for real. I was working for a company, and it's a pretty big company. And so around the holiday season, they like gift a whole bunch of like expensive like tech and other sorts of gifts and things like that. And I just remember coming to work one day, I had an email in my work email, and it was like, congratulations. And I'm just like, what is this? And I started getting IMs from all these different coworkers and stuff like, oh my God, you won an Oculus. So I won my Oculus from work. I didn't know what an Oculus was. Ironically, like a day or two after I won the Oculus, my mom hit me up and was like, hey, what does Max want? He keeps talking about an Oculus. Max is my oldest son. She was trying to figure out what to get him for Christmas, and she ended up getting him an Oculus for Christmas. So I kind of stumbled into the Oculus and the metaverse and stuff like that. Got on the headset, downloaded a couple different apps. The one I'm on now, Horizon Worlds, I didn't even have that at first. I had venues, and then I saw Horizon Worlds. I'm like, let me download this. And after I downloaded it, I didn't even get on it until like I think it was like late December or like January 1st. I did look back, and my first ever picture I took in the metaverse is time stamped, or date stamped, I should say, rather, for January 1st. But I want to say I might have been there a few days prior to that, just kind of exploring and everything. But yeah, that's how I got into it. Kind of stumbled into it. It was thrown at me. The universe threw it at me. I don't know, but it's been a blessing ever since, man.
Wow, how amazing is that? That's crazy. Like the twists and turns that life can take when you think that your life is going on one path and you're focused. All of a sudden, the universe will throw you a curveball, and boom, look where you at now. How amazing is that?
Extremely, extremely amazing, man. It's just like I was just telling one of my friends, I think this was actually yesterday, like how crazy it is because looking at what I've accomplished so far in the metaverse on the platform and worlds, I feel as though I've accomplished more in that space than I have in my entire kind of like art career. You know what I mean? Like the success I've had in there, the following I have accumulated in there, it's been amazing, and it's still going up to this day. I get so many followers a day in comparison to when I was just doing portraits, for instance. But I mean, my portraits were cool too when I was posting that on my Instagram page because I've had my I Go By Price name, I think, since 2015 or 2016. Previous to that, it was Poetic Triumph because I used to write poetry too. But it's just been an amazing ride, man, being on this platform.
You say,
So, so do you
go ahead,
perform
Tanya.
on your in Oculus?
No, nah. No, I don't perform in the Oculus. I've been asked to do some poetry. I said I would, but I haven't yet because I couldn't find my old poetry book. So I'm gonna have to start getting into writing again, which I haven't done in years. But I'm sure it's still in me.
You say you've gotten more uh attention from your art created within the metaverse than
Yeah.
actually creating portraits. Um, is there any type of comparison between those two arts?
Um, I'm sure there is, but I can't think of any like true comparisons right off the top of my head when talking about doing portraits because you're literally talking about in the physical form and then in the virtual form. Now, granted, how you create in Horizon Worlds, virtual reality, you have your controller, those are your hands essentially. So in a sense, you are literally, picking up an object, putting it with another object to create something in the metaverse and Horizon World specifically, because there's multiple apps. But like that's what? That's the comparison. It is sort of hands-on when you're creating in this particular application, Horizon Worlds. Some applications you could just do on a computer and import the worlds that you create and art that you create into the space, but this one, you can't do that. You have to go into the space and create it yourself piece by piece. And that's what a lot of people marvel at on that platform because if you've ever been on Horizon Worlds, it does take you through a little tutorial to how to create and everything. But a lot of people get frustrated with it because it's not as easy, especially if you don't have an art background. That learning curve could be pretty steep for some people. But it is still like really hands on in that space. But when it comes to doing portraits in Horizon Worlds, it's a world of difference, really. I haven't started doing portraits myself, but it's something I intend on doing. I intend on bringing my stipplings into um, Horizon Worlds and actually creating them as kind of like constellations almost like with the stars because stars is like one of my little signature things, stars and clouds in that space with everything I create. That's how people know it's me outside of my logo. So I intend on bringing my stipplings into that space using the stars and everything to create portraits in the sky essentially. I'm sure the first one I do will probably be a memorial for somebody, likely like a artist that has passed away or something like that.
Now, that artist that you were talking about, I forget his name. What was his name? The guy that just passed away.
Oh, Prince the Wolf. Yeah, that's the homie, man. He kind of inspired me to, make my stuff more engaging and things like that. He created this, like, I call it a viral world, called House Party. That's really one of the first places people went when they got onto the platform because it was constantly jumping. People were there literally 24/7, 4 in the morning, 6 in the morning, 8 in the morning, late at night. It didn't matter. It was a lot of people in there at all times. He's I know for a fact he's probably had at least 60,000 people visit his world. Like, that's a lot of people when you think about that. 60,000, and it's
That's
such a new
true.
face. Yeah.
And I've been to that world, and it was so dope, and I had fun there. But
Yeah.
this is how the metaverse has revolutionized our world. Mourning, when people pass away, when you think, okay, when people, you go to a wake, right? Then you go to a funeral, then people might convene afterwards, have some food or whatnot. Then you guys go to the graveyard. Preacher says another prayer. They put your family member or friend in the ground, and then it's over with. But what I experienced in this metaverse, people did for this man, they created a world, something that's going to last forever until Facebook Horizons is over with. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it's a place where people can go and talk and chat and remember this guy, and you know what I'm saying, and meet other people. Um, it was it was something that I experienced for the first time, so I was trying to take it all in, and I was like, wow, the metaverse, like, artwork isn't the only renaissance that the metaverse has jump started. This thing has its hands on basically all avenues of our current life,
Yeah, that's a
and
fact.
it touched me. I can't sit here and explain the way it touched me, but it just touched me. I don't have the words for it, but they just to see how these artists came together and created a world for this man.
Yeah.
And it was like they set up a date and they all came down and showed love. Like, it it was mind blowing.
Yeah, I tell people, because if you ever go into that particular platforms, I'm sure it's like that on other platforms too, with inside the metaverse. But it really becomes almost like a family. You know what I mean? Because depending on how much time you spend in your headset, you start seeing the same people over and over again. It ends up being like, your neighborhood, your place of employment, that kind of thing, where you see the same faces all the time. So you kind of build a relationship, and some of those people, you connect with. And this is just my opinion, but I feel like being in that headset, you can't see somebody's physical appearance, so there's no judgment there. You can only judge them based
Absolutely.
off of who they are as a person, how their mind works, what they say out of their mouth. You can only judge them off of that. And I feel like that's more real, because the first thing in the real world you're gonna see when you approach somebody new is what they look like. And you could judge them. Like, for instance, me, I'm 6'2", 300 pounds. Like, I look like a big football player. So people are intimidated by me, you know what I mean, in the real world sometimes, and they might not speak to me. And also, I'm a little quiet. I like to sit back and watch people for a little bit before I start mingling. But in the metaverse, man, it's different. Like, it's easier to talk to people. People will come up to you, you know what I mean, and talk to you and engage in conversation. And so a lot of people also who were very antisocial, they get into the metaverse, and that kind of changes for them. If it doesn't change completely, it definitely helps them to be more vocal in the real world. I've heard plenty of people say that, and everything, but it really becomes like a family in there. And for instance, Prince the Woo, I know there's multiple memorials for him, but I was asked by Cheeks, who is another creator in there, to help with the memorial. So we took his studio that he made, and we turned that into the place for a memorial, because that's like his home. You know what I mean? And so it just is real. You know, people say that the VR space is not real, it's just a game, da 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 da. But we're making real connections in here, man. You can't discount that. So when you walk into that memorial, and I've seen it myself, and I've been a part of this, walking into that memorial and seeing the picture of Prince the Woo, and seeing how we just designed the whole memorial, people started breaking down crying as they're walking in. So it's not just a game. We're talking about real people. This man really lost his life. His family is really hurting right now. So that you could feel that connection through that space. you know
Yeah, man, the metaverse of what I've experienced, it it is something that is bringing people together. It is a renaissance for not only art but music, and um um I'm stumbling over my words. I'm excited to see what is to come in the future. And so what we're going to talk about now, Price, is the basement.
okay.
The basement is one of the dopest things I've seen in the meta. When I told you guys this man put hip hop on his back and took the responsibility for getting it jumping in the metaverse, the basement, and I'm not talking about Big Tigger's basement. I'm talking about Price's basement. Explain what the basement is and how you came up with that idea.
Yeah. So I'll just start from the origin story. I created this world. It was kind of like my metaverse home in Horizon Worlds. It was called Price's Place. It was essentially supposed to be a game at first, actually. It was supposed to be like a glass maze inside of a house, but it ended up just being a house where I put kind of like what I consider my metaverse trophies, like assets that I've created that people really marveled over and things like that. But I realized with capacity, we only have a certain, capacity that we can build. It's like a memory, essentially, a memory card, and it would fill up essentially. And I realized I don't have enough space to do what I want in here. So I thought about creating a world specifically for one room because I can maximize the detail that's in that space as an artist. And so, first thing I wanted to do, because this is something I always wanted, I always want a listening room in my house. So I thought about, doing a basement because that's where I always thought I would put my listening room. But also on top of that, my friends in real life, we play this game called Taboo, and I figured I was going to create a similar game to that in the basement where people can come and play, and bond and laugh and stuff like me and my friends did in the real world. So I created the basement. I didn't put the game Taboo in there, and I was just looking at it, and I kind of was like thinking to myself, like, man, I really did something here. Just me standing in my space before it was even released, and I'm just like, I don't even think I need to put the game in here, honestly. Like, this looks so dope. You know what I mean? I'm just like, and I had my DJ at the time play music. I'm like, maybe I should just release it for one night. I'm gonna release it for one night. You know what I'm saying? Play some of my favorite songs or whatever, and have like a little party, kind of like a housewarming, honestly. And that's what I ended up doing. And people came. It started filling up rapidly. Everybody started joining on us and everything. And I remember I was like, all right, I'm taking it down because I actually made a post on Instagram. It was going to be like for one night only until I finish it. And everybody was like, you better not take that down. Leave it up. So that's what I did. I left it up. And then I think the next party or event I did was, excuse me, kind of inspired by what's that song? It got Juvenile on there. I think it's the whole Hot Boys, if I'm not mistaken. But when he at the beginning of the song, he says from the 99 to the 2000s. That was the theme
Back
for the
that
party.
ass up.
Yeah, back that ass up. I don't know why I was drawing a blank, bro. That's an iconic song. But it was inspired based off of that song, but it was a lot of songs during that era that I played. And so many people came out. I had a backdrop like you would see when you go to the club or something. Everybody was taking pictures. I have a reel on Instagram that shows everybody's pictures that they took that night and everything. So it was like a real event. And from there, it just blew up. And then I'm just like, oh, I just need to just, have certain nights with my favorite artists. So I did Brent Fayez. Um, Actually, I did Black. His name is Black. Some people call him Six Lack. I did him. And then all the other artists came. I did J. Cole. I did Gucci Man. I did Migos. I did Nicki Minaj. I did who else did I do? Outkast. It's so many, man. I have at least like 17 basements. Each of them, for the most part, is for a particular artist. Sometimes I'll do themes. I did a reggae night, try to get all the flags from down there put in there. I still need to add some more of that. But it just blew up into this whole thing to the point where people are expecting it. People have come up to me and said, hey, yo, I appreciate you for doing this because it be dead in here sometimes, and you be doing stuff in here for the culture. Like, it's always lit when we come in here. We always have a good time kicking it with people, listening to our favorite music. Because what I've noticed is when I do certain artists, certain people will come out because they are a fan of that artist. Like, when I tell you, when I did J. Cole night, the amount of J. Cole fans in that basement was absurd. Like, we were rapping bar for bar the entire night. I need to see if I got a video of that, because I don't think I've ever posted a video from that night. But yeah, it gets real in there with the fans that come through and show love and support for not only the music, but me specifically artistically for what I provide to the community.
Wow, and there's so many of those nights that I was in attendance and had a great time. And before we continue, I want to introduce you to my other co-host who just came into the room. She crypto filmmaker extraordinaire. What's going on, sweetheart?
What's up? What's up?
She doesn't have the mic, by the way. So, listening to your story makes me I feel very inspired. So you're pretty much setting up you made a party place off of Horizon, which is owned by Meta, which is where they're all putting all their money in. And but couldn't your what you build be made into an XR through another website, or is it just only for Horizon?
It's only for Horizon, but I'm looking into getting into 3D modeling and things like that, so I can recreate it and put it into other metaverse platforms like Altspace and maybe VR chat and things like that. So it could be, seen from other platforms too, not just Horizon Worlds. Because the metaverse is really vast and it's only going to grow. There's going to be more platforms when other larger companies get into the space. You talking Microsoft, Apple, you know what I'm saying? They would be naive to not get into the space. So I'm expecting them, and I think some of them have actually already talked about it or hinted at it or confirmed it, that they're going to be coming into the metaverse too, with different platforms and things like that. And with Meta being such a large company, they're going to do something to be in competition with them. Just in the gaming platform, you're looking at PlayStation and Xbox, them battling it out for, top spot on sales and stuff like that. So I expect the metaverse to really blow up. I know Meta specifically has big things for 2023 coming up here, and I'm excited, for it all, to see how this whole platform matures and everything, because it's still in its infancy stage, and we're early adapters for those who use it, really.
Absolutely.
No, I agree.
And what just happened was I give Meta all the credit for this because they pulled it off, and it was an awesome experience. The Biggie VR experience concert that just popped off on the 16th was super dope. Super dope. And I think that is the springboard for other concerts and other hip hop experiences to come into the metaverse. But what they did with that, oh man, hats off to them. We need more of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I know there's going to be more coming, as other artists, see what's going on the platform. For instance, like the Biggie concert, other artists will, come forward and show interest in that. And I'm sure they got stuff in the pipeline already, man. Because from what I hear, my fellow creators that have done business with larger corporations and in the music industry and stuff like that, what it seems though is like a lot of artists and companies do want to get into the metaverse. They just don't know how. So it's kind of, Meta's part or whoever the platform, is, and also the creators to kind of build, I don't want to say hype, but just show people what are the capabilities, the possibilities. And that's why I post so much about it. Because a lot of people don't know what it is. I still get that question, like, what is it that you do? And I'm like, I'm a creator. I create spaces for people to, connect and meet and stuff like that. And other people create games. Other people create spaces for healing and self-reflection. Like, the metaverse is literally just like the movie that Mark Zuckerberg talked about, which is Ready Player One. Like, you can really live out your dreams in the metaverse. You can create pretty much what you want in the metaverse, depending on the platform. So it's like, it's addicting. And when you have, like, you don't have a budget, you know what I mean? Only budget that you would have in Horizon Worlds is your capacity, you know what I mean? But outside of that, you can use that entire space to create whatever you want to create. Like, currently I have in my back pocket a world called the kitchen. It's kind of like the follow up to the basement, because again, I'm creating my house, but each room is its own world. So my kitchen is inspired by my grandmother's kitchen. You know what I mean? That I have so many memories of Thanksgiving dinners, Christmas dinners, just waking up in the morning, watching PBS before I go to school, eating a bowl of cereal at the table that I literally put in there. And I showed my grandmother, and it's like an exact replica of her kitchen. I'm excited to release it. But like your dreams can really come true in there. You know what I mean? And it's a space where you can actually like go through therapy, just by recreating and revisiting memories that recreate in that space.
Speaking of therapy, there are so many people that I've met. There, especially builders that I've interviewed for the MetaHood show. I think Sadie Chan and
That's the homie.
Meta Jackie. She's one of our
Yeah.
VJs for MetaHood. I brought her on after the interview. So now she's a part of MetaHood, and we got a dope travel show coming out. Little shameless plug, but they said they suffered from social anxiety disorder. But I met so many people within the metaverse that also suffered from social anxiety.
Yeah, that's what I was touching on earlier. There's a lot of that in there. And the platform helps those people, fight through that kind of thing and makes them better people, more outgoing, more extroverted and everything.
Have you thought about doing something in the XR world? Since you're building so many worlds, your talent's highly needed.
Can you elaborate on what XR is? I feel like
XR
I've
is
heard
mixed
it.
media, so it's VR and AR mixed together. So you can do it all on a desktop without having to wear any goggles, or you can just join via your phone.
Okay.
And
Actually,
that,
I've never considered that, but you putting that bug in my ear, I'm definitely gonna do some research once some Googles and stuff once I get off of here, to look into that, because I definitely want to expand myself past where I am now, of course, into multiple things.
yeah, because I this has been my little obsession. I've been messing around with it for a while now, so I just thought that maybe because VR is like I got into that back in 2015, but the more I thought about it, just learning more about XR today, from last year actually, just sitting in spaces, meeting a lot of different developers and builders, and really think about and you know what, having this conversation really made me think about, because I think about like more about hybrid event. When I do an event, I think about, what if I made a digital duplicate of this location? What if I were able to make a digital duplicate in an XR platform? So this way, the people who attend doesn't need any glasses or anything. But what if I made it so that it's exact same thing is happening in real life? It's happening in a virtual life. So let's say we had a concert, and if you were to build something in an XR, then I want to say hi, my friend Ariel. He's here. Sorry, I get distracted. But then you build something in an XR field or even VR, while it's happening all at once. I just find that really, because people pay for the experience more than they would pay for a gift. So this holiday season, I'm always out looking at different experiences that I want to buy for my friends and family, right? But then
Yeah.
the more I think about it for my business, I think of like, even this sounds horrible to take this in the right way, but even building, like, if someone passed away at a funeral, if I was able to, I would build an XR platform for that person, because before Metaverse, before, I mean, like, Second Life was a Metaverse, the first one, like that I know of, that I was part of. But then as you think more about it, there's actually religions built around where people, one of them is called Terrasem, where their followers every day would post a video about themselves that they upload into a cloud, so that one day when they are passing, when they're digitally, their body might not be here and they're cryogenically frozen, their virtual self is up in a cloud talking and living in the virtual world, as you want to call it. So what if we were able to build something where someone passed away, someone came along and build a metaverse for that person, so that you can come say hi, bye, or whatever. I don't see why not. I mean, that's another thing too. People don't ever have much closure, but to be able to have closing with someone that passed, it's such a key thing, especially if you can build it in a way that they the people who attend this type of service can feel like they're right next to you, and the people that lost the person, or even to have that person appear, you know.
That's what I was about to piggyback off you and say. Like with technology nowadays, like the AI and all that kind of stuff, like you can take like fragments of someone speaking and then create your own text, and it'll let the AI speak, and it'll sound like that person. I think I saw a video recently. Somebody did a Drake song or something like that and wrote their own lyrics, and it sounded like Drake was rapping it with the AI system they were using. So I mean, the possibilities are endless. Like you can probably have an AI system that almost has its own consciousness or something like that, and it might feel like you're really talking to that person that you lost, you know, and that could be
So like
therapeutic for
I
people too.
actually paid for an AI to write for me for my 2023. So I've been testing it
Oh wow,
out, and
how you
so
like
I
it?
made an AI wrote me. I mean, actually, I was going to give it to Gino or She Crypto, but I had it write up two different types of songs. One is a hip hop. I did one hip hop, one pop, and it was like really interesting how AI came up with the words and created and everything. But then now on the flip side, if I was to able to take that and start creating my own self, right, in the VR world, and then create all the different things. I'm telling you, the world, the sky's the limit, and
Yeah,
now, you know, people like yourself are very high demand because builders are. I mean, I'm gonna write a whole paper about this, but builders are the what people are looking for, because builders can build what you want and what you see. You can have an idea, but you need the builders to come along and build it for you.
exactly, exactly.
As far as AI, like what I've seen, just let's just talk about these pictures that have come out recently that everybody had, that everybody posted. We all had our mind blown, right? You know, we could go ahead and admit it. I know I did.
I did too, and I definitely posted mine.
I posted mine. Everybody posted theirs. That is just a grain of sand of what AI can do. What I think is going to happen in the future, artists as we know it, artists have to step up their game. You're going to have to learn to start building. You're going to have to learn how to start coding. And what else I think we're going to like what artists are going to morph into are more like AI maestros, if you will, people that know how to uh, talk to the AI, or create the script for the AI, you know, and be super talented at that, and help the AI create magnificent work. Because we can't, as humans, I know a lot of people don't want to hear this. There's been so much backlash against Web3, NFTs, cryptocurrency, AI. But listen, AI is here. It's not going nowhere. So, as artists, we have to adapt, and adapt fast, because this whole AI thing, man, it's amazing. It's a little scary for some. To me, it's amazing. Um, but like I said, these 2020s, man, this decade is going to be something else, and I'm here for it. What you think about that, Price?
Yeah, I'm with you on that too. I'm with you on that too. I agree.
AI is on a whole nother level.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
only
but you
gonna
have to
get
teach
better.
AI. AI can't just like,
That's
same
what
thing
I'm
as
saying.
as
Like,
a
we're looking at these AI maestros. It can't do it by itself. You know what I'm saying? Right
Hmm.
now, have to put in the script, but we have to adapt. What are we gonna do? We can't we can't paint 1,000 pictures in 15 minutes. That's amazing. Like, stuff that's never been seen before. We can't do that. We're human. So it's
Yeah.
here. It's not going nowhere. How are we going to adapt to that?
Well, I've been playing with AI quite a bit, and I have like, I even have like, what I had one of these. It was considered the first generation AI that's a robot, first generation robot. dance and stuff, but I got tired and bored because I had to teach it, just like having a child, and my kid is all grown up already. But that's the other thing too, the responsibility and training and teaching your AI the right thing to do and right not to do. So that's the problem nowadays. You can't just, oh, so cool to have an AI. Yeah, but it's like, what is a true AI and what is it doing? Is it learning what you're teaching, or is it something that, it's telling you it's an AI, but it's not? There's a lot of platform. Like I pay for stuff just to see what it actually does. So like I have one right now that I pay for the AI art. And when I tell it certain things and at this criteria, like what kind of art do you want? You want it into a photography, you want it into different things. And you pick what I want, you pick the keyword, and it doesn't really come up the way I chose it to be. But it was interesting. But it takes time. You guys, like I said, if you get AI, take your time and learn and teach it and learn yourself.
I think it all has to do with the data set or something like that. Like there are different data sets that the AI uses. Um, for instance, you guys remember when Google, or who was it? Did Google put the bot on Twitter, the AI bot on Twitter, and it just went crazy because it was taking in everything that was being said on Twitter, as far like just racism, misogyny, all kind of crazy stuff, and it was taking it into its data set, and it was molding who the AI actually was, and they quickly removed it from social media. Do you guys remember that?
I do not, but
Yeah,
that
I
sounds
do.
like a
But I'm
nice
trying to
story.
remember what the story was. But yeah, the AI, it taught itself and it read all the different tweets that were just really bad and negative, and they had to turn it off because it was so angry.
And here recently, what about the AI? The AI. I don't know what to say. It wasn't a data set. It was a guy working for Google. He came out. He was a whistleblower, and he was like, "Listen, I work for Google, and this AI thing, I think it's sentient. I think, I think it has become conscious." You guys,
Yeah, but you're not allowed to say that out loud, though.
yeah, man. When I tell you they shut that man up so damn quick. But he after he got, I don't know if he got fired or if he just left Google. He went and I think I wrote a blog about everything that happened. But what a time to be alive, man! Wow.
Hi, Meg.
Sentient.
Meg has her hand up. I want to say hi to
She has
Meg.
her
Hi,
hand up.
Meg.
What's going on, Meg? We here with I Go By Price, one of the most incredible builders
You
in the
guys, put
metaverse.
my mic off. Listen. Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Hello.
And Merry Christmas and all to you and yours.
Absolutely. Right back at you.
Absolutely. Baby, you want me to sing a song for you guys?
No, thank you. This isn't that
That's
type.
not cool. That's okay. But listen, I'm an activist and I love what you're saying. I love what you're doing. Okay? I'm gonna stand up. And
So I don't know what that was about. That
I wanted to say hi to, well, my Ariel left, but that was interesting. But
was
we should,
very interesting.
Will
Nip that in
Jason,
the
hello
butter
to you
right quick.
too.
Look, nip that in the butter right quick. but but anyway, yo, yeah, I go by price, man. Listen, I was talking to you the other day. I was just sitting in your room, and I had so many ideas going through my mind, and I was like, yo, bro, I would love if you let Starseed Film and Music just help push you, you know, just help push you to different outlets or introduce you to certain people, because what you have here is incredible. And like it's cool for everybody to come here and kick it, but as a team, as a culture, we all need to come together, bruh, and help push what you are doing.
Yeah, I
And
appreciate that, man.
I really wanted Starseed Film and Music to be a part of that, and I was so happy when you obliged. And just as far as the push, we got some pretty exciting things coming over the bend, man. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you for that.
Yeah, it's not a problem, man. I actually told myself recently, like, one thing about the metaverse and Mark Zuckerberg talks about is like connecting people. So you in that space will meet people you would have never met before. Like I've met
Absolutely.
people who are high ranking in companies. Also of course ran into Facebook employees or Meta employees a lot too. They come to my places and stuff like that and check me out. But like you meet so many different people and you make so many connections with people. There's so many business opportunities and opportunities for advancement in what you're trying to do in that space. Like you can't hold yourself back by not wanting to, collaborate with people. Collaboration is a huge thing in that space, in my opinion. And so I definitely want to branch out, and collab more specifically in like the music realm of things and stuff like that because that's what I focus on. Music is such a big part of my worlds and what I create in that space because of its influence and how it moves people. So I definitely want to connect with you and talk about some things and see what we can do to up both of our platforms. You know what I mean?
Let's go, man. Let's do it.
Do you
Um,
have any music? Do you perform? Do you have music that you can play for us today?
I don't. I'm not actually an artist. I'm just a music lover, honestly. I wish I could like sing and rap and do all that stuff. I sing in the shower. That's about it. But but no, it's mainly like just showing appreciation and love for actual artists and stuff like that, and even bringing light to some older artists that people maybe not even listen to anymore. And that's what I do. The basement is essentially a room for listening parties. Every Wednesday, I do an event for a particular artist, and I play only their music. I stream their music into the space, and I redecorate the basement every week to be themed out like that particular artist. Last week, I had Ludacris night. So I have like this little Lego statue that I redecorate as like the person or whatever almost every week. And I did one of Ludacris, had him flipped upside down like that one video he had a bunch of Atlanta references and things like that. And even had like a chicken spot inside of the basement that I built to represent Chicken and Beer, one of his albums. So that's what I do with my space. Is kind of just like for listening parties, people to come, hang out, talk, and enjoy the music as fans and everything. Meet other like-minded people.
and it's amazing, man. It's amazing. And like I
Have you
said,
done
brother,
Snoop Dogg? I'd love to hear his music.
oh,
I have not,
no,
but that's a
that,
great idea. Yeah, I have not, but that's a great idea.
You know,
I'm
he's
trying to
all into
figure
the
out how I'm going.
metaverse and he's all talking about it. And
that's a good
Hmm.
idea.
Shoot, that might be who I have to do Wednesday then. Tomorrow.
That's a good idea. You think you would be able to knock that out in a day?
I mean, honestly, the basements that I do, typically, I do them hours before the event starts. Like I
I do
create
it
them
next
hours before.
Wednesday, not this Wednesday, the following Wednesday, right before New Year's.
Okay.
I'm a planner, virtually or
Gotcha.
in person. I can't think of themes, but I would do it right before. It's so.
Wow, Snoop Dogg and just do
Yeah.
like a crazy push for Snoop to try. What if we could get him to come through?
That's one of my goals, man, is to get one of these artists to want to participate in the whole event and everything. That's what I'm just trying to,
Can you just
keep my
DM
head down.
his fan page on Facebook?
I probably could do that. I've definitely DM'd some artists. Haven't got anything really. Haven't even got a scene notification or anything like that. But it's something I'm gonna continue to keep working towards.
So I followed you, follow me back, and then I
Oh, for sure.
can. I have like these letters that I send out to people to get them on my stuff. So
I appreciate that.
yeah. Let me let's follow each other. Like I said, I sponsor a music NFT space on Sunday at 8 o'clock with Crypto God Louie. So and Losi, she's another NFT artist. But what you doing, you can totally bridge it. There's a lot of different musicians, really well known musician. But I think if you could get Snoop Dogg onto there, I think Facebook, Meta would be so grateful. And because he's already talking about it, he's already doing it. He already has his own thing going on. You might as well just say, hey, I'm throwing a concert for you. You want to pop in?
Yeah, I know he's already been like on the Meta platform because he was one of the artists that they had inside of venues. I want to say earlier on, it was him DJing. He was a part of, and they did a recording and played it in Meta venues or whatnot. But yeah, I definitely want to get some artists in here, and I've been thinking about people who I've seen on social media that's interested in the metaverse. I know I wanted to do a 3-6 Mafia night because I know they're kind of into Web3 too as well.
That's gonna be dope.
Yeah.
That's gonna be dope. Well, listen, man, I go by Price. This is our second interview. You came through to the Starseed HQ nightclub for the MetaHood podcast, the MetaHood interview, and you came through to our virtual film festival. And listen, man, I appreciate you so much. And Starseed Film and Music, we're gonna do everything in our power, brother, to get you to the top when it comes to this metaverse space. Tanya, she's dope when it comes to marketing and PR. So you definitely linked up with the right people, brother. And I just can't thank you enough. Sky is not the limit for you, brother. You are out of here. You know what I mean? You got so much more to do. I just want to let you know that I'm proud of everything you're doing. I'm watching everything you're doing, and you have a home right here at Starseed Film and Music Virtual Film Festival. Anytime you want to come through, drop something new, talk, grab the mic or whatever, it's yours. So, what I like to do at this time, I like to give all of our guests the Starseed Film and Music golden ticket. You are now in the Starseed Film and Music Virtual Film Festival Hall of Fame. I'm gonna get that to you. The little the mean ticket after the show. And like I said, I appreciate you coming through.
Yeah.
And yo, I'm just excited to work with you, brother.
Likewise, man. Likewise. This is that whole, collaboration and, pushing everybody's businesses forward and everything I was talking about. So yeah, definitely excited.
Let's do it. Starseed Film and Music Virtual Film Festival. She Crypto. Appreciate you for coming through. Tanya, we have another successful show. Everybody else in here that came through, shout out to y'all. Keep an eye out for my boy I Go By Price. Big things are about to happen.
Yeah. Hey, feel free to follow me on Instagram. That's my primary social media platform. I Go By Price is really I Go By Price on everything. If you all do have headsets and you have Horizon Worlds, every Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have a listening party in the basement. Each week it's a different artist.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hip hop. We bring in hip hop directly to the metaverse. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about pictures. We're not talking about NFTs. We're talking about entire experiences within the metaverse. Hip hop is here, and I Go By Price is the man to give all the credit to. So we out of here. Same time, same channel. Virtual Film Festival, Starseed Film and Music. We out of here. Social chats.